2-minute introduction, explain to the student body why you're late. And assure them that this won't be a habit as the vice president of the, seriously, introduce yourself and talk to the students about your platform.
How's everybody doing? My name is Aaron Williams, and I just want to assure you guys that this is not indicative of me at all. As a vice president, I had an organic chemistry test, and everybody was nice enough to allow me to come just for a chat delay. I feel I did well, so. Anyway, I'm Aaron Williams. I'm running for vice president of SGA. I've been involved in SGA for the past 2 years. Worked as a senator, so started from the bottom for myself, a senator, secretary, and now I'm trying to be a vice president. I was then on vice president for a little while, and I think I did a very good job with the title for the time I had. My peers in SGA asked me and told me I should probably pursue it permanently, so this is what I'm doing. I just want to keep moving the SGA along. I want to keep with the good and hard work that we've been doing, putting on the great event that we're putting on for the students, and putting up the hard work. So that's what you can expect from me as a vice president. But don't I assure you, I'm not a half kind of guy. I'm not coming late and all that. I didn't really have to test. I'm sorry.
We'll allow Aaron a chance to catch up. I asked all of the other candidates if you had the opportunity to meet a prospective student, what would you tell them to encourage them to enroll in the RCC?
Well, yeah, I do it all the time. Actually, I have a few other jobs, and I talked to a few of my friends. I graduated from Woodlawn High School, and I promote Baton Rouge Community College all the time. This is a great school. We have a lot of opportunities here, scholarships. There's a bunch of great programs here. So I would just tell them that this place, it may not be LSU or whatever university you think it is, but it's a great place to get a start and a foundation and to knock out some of the prerequisites, especially for a person who's never been to college. It's great. I'm glad I came here, and I think this is a great place with a bunch of great opportunities. So that's just what I would tell them.
Do we have any questions from the audience?
I'm just curious if some of the candidates had long-term plans. Were they just going to follow along what the current candidate had, or did they have any ideas they wanted to push on to try to see happening on campus?
Okay, this question is, do you have any long-term plans for the SGA? Or do you basically want to continue on with what the administration does now? Do you have any long-term plans to do new and innovative things? We'll start with the two candidates for secretary, and then we'll go back to Ms. Navy and Ms. Goldman, and then we'll let everybody chime in.
Before I can adequately answer that question, because I have never worked with SGA before, I have to get inside and find out what's going on before I can decide whether or not changes need to be made. If after review I decide changes do need to be made, then at that time I will take necessary action.
I have a wide array of changes I would love to make to the SGA. And first off, I would like to change a lot of the language in our Constitution. It's something I've been working on for the past year, but it's something I've been working on as a draft for the past year. Our system is very dated. All of the language is very dated, and sometimes even contradicts itself. So I would like that to change, and the reason for that specifically is because having a good constitution and a good foundation allows for your student government to work a lot more efficiently and to affect you a lot more.
I would say, since I already do not know what the current cabinet has already put in place, I would like to know what they have in place and see where I would work from there.
From the outside looking in, I do like the events that we have now. They've been going on since I've been at the school. And I also would like to bring new events like the two I just said. So I want to bring that on, and they can also continue that on in the future after I'm done.
I got mad ideas. One of the things that I would like to do a lot more of is surveying our student body and finding out what you guys would like to see. What new events or maybe what traditional events that you feel like are played, or that's where I would want to start. yes, I want to take into consideration the current, members in the SGA cab and, where they're going and their focus and their platforms and their, and their ideas, et cetera, but ultimately, I can't wait, if I am elected in your promotions, in this promotion position, I can't wait to survey you. Find out, what do you like? What do you want to see? That's what I would do.
Now, basically, I may not have all the ideas that will probably come to mind, but if I had any ideas I would bring out, it's like mostly same thing probably what you would say, like from every student, because there's a lot of students who want to have it. Like they say, like events or even some things that's in law that's been on the situation that's causing enough reality. But with the survey, it basically help us understand what y'all really need and what y'all really wanted. Because don't worry, we can get everything done. Whatever the situation you have, we can bring that to whatever, even something small or even something main or big. But above all, we can get things done in a simpler manner.
I guess my question is, everybody seems to be on the same page in regards to the fact that you all want to make the students more involved in the school. But really only the event planners said how they wanted to do that, the changes that they wanted to implement, suggestion boxes, games, events. How exactly do the two of you want to affect change in the student body?
Chris first.
Honestly, as I've said before, the secretary position is there to make it easier for everyone else to affect change. They are not, as I see them, the person that's going to be out there. They may help out at an event, but they're not the person planning an event. They're not the person that's going to make an event. But they're the person that makes it a lot easier for everyone else to plan an event. Now, there are events that I have, or there are other ways to do that. Where in regards to bills, for instance, I ended up working on a bill with Asia Gilliam, our treasurer, to get the jazz band money to play at a performance and help out with their instruments. I've done many other bills, and I want to continue doing that. I've probably passed, if not the most, close to the most bills in the past year and a half. So I'll continue doing that.
We all pretty much know the typical secretary duties, but if elected, I want to go beyond and above that. Again, as I stated, some of you may know me from the sociology club. I interact with a lot of people who do a lot of fundraising and toy drives. But aside from the sociology club, I want to bring that into SGA. I want to interact with the students. I want to find out what you like, what you want, what you need, because not everybody is a traditional student. Not all of us are 18 to 19 fresh out of college. Not all of us live with mom and dad. We all have different situations. And I want the students to be able to come to me and talk to me about school-related stuff, personal stuff. It doesn't matter. Again, for those of you who know me, you know I'm a people person. You know I love to help. So again, I'm not going to just be doing secretarial duties. I want to do everything.
When conflict arises, how do you tell it? And then,
Whenever conflict arises, shouting wouldn't solve the situation, but talking and finding out where the person thinks what you need to do about it, and then sitting down and talking about it together, and agreeing that's the way I would solve it.
Assuming you're talking about conflict or doing an event, well, if conflict arises, basically we need to look at it from different angles. We may have to bring students in and do surveys to see is it worth it. Also looking at the budget, because you can be arguing over something that's not going to happen. So we need to look at the bigger picture versus looking at our own, because we're not doing it it just for us, we're doing it for the student body.
Okay, in regards to conflict, honestly, I handle conflict with the mommy approach. I'm the middle child, the only girl, and I pretty much raised my younger brother. So I know how to talk to people, I know how to compromise, and I also know how to put my pride to the side to make things better for the vast majority.
Honestly, it depends on what the conflict is. There have been many times to where it has been a conflict to where you have to know what's worth fighting for. There have been many conflicts where I have fought for a single issue and fought because it's important to me and I think it's important to the students. But there are other times to where you honestly need to check your pride and make sure that you're not just fighting over something for power or to feel like you are superior to someone.
Hey, I have a question. How would you react to being told no?
Oh, that's a good question. Okay. Honestly, like I said before my last question, it really depends on what the issue is and who's telling me no. If it's anyone in the office, as far as executive officers, I would discuss with them why no, or why that was said, what compromises we can make, and try and come to a consensus among us.
I said this earlier, but I'm a middle child, so I'm used to hearing the word no a lot. The word no doesn't bother me. When I hear the word no, all that means is that we need to draw a list of pros and cons and to come to a compromise, again, to make everybody happy and satisfied.
Someone telling me the word no is not going to stop me. I will find a way around it, and I can't put my personal feelings involved because I'm not doing it for myself, I'm doing it for fellow students. So if someone tells me no, we're going to find different ways to approach the situation and try to make it happen.
If someone tells me no, I would try as much as possible to find out why they are saying no, and then try to reach an agreement and see if there are other ways to come about it. Thank you.
At this time, I just have one final question for the secretary candidate, and we will wrap this up. As your SGA president, I would like to know two things. What are your biggest motivation for seeking your office? And the second aspect of that question is, what would be your biggest failure as a student here at the RCC? And how can you correct that failure?
My biggest motivation is my future. I do aspire to do something in the political field. I'm not quite sure yet. So basically, my future is the biggest motivating factor.
My second question would be, what is your biggest failure here as a student, and how can you correct that failure?
My biggest failure, honestly, may be, it could be time management. I'm usually on campus 12 to 14 hours a day. I'm up every morning at 4 a.m. And all of my school things get done, but then pretty much nothing else. So that probably may be my biggest failure is time management with school and personal life.
And how do you plan on correcting that?
Try to get more sleep at night.
Okay. Thank you. Chris? Your biggest motivation for your office?
My biggest motivation for my office is I love SGA. I've been a part of a form of SGA for the past, for all my years of college with the exception of one semester, my first semester of BRTC. And I love this organization and I want to see it succeed even greater than it has already. We've already had so many successes in the past year and a half that I've been a part of it. And I want to see it grow and expand and become a much bigger part of your lives than it is right now.
And what is your biggest failure as a student, and how do you plan on correcting it?
My biggest failure as a student is a slight case of senioritis. It's my last semester here, and we all get that feeling. But I think focusing buckling down on school is easy. It can be done, and it just will be. So.
All right, thank you. At this time, we will now wrap up our special election candidate forum, and I will turn it back over to Mr. Kennedy for closing remarks.
Okay, I think that you guys should give your student body members and your peers who taking the time to come up and submit themselves for service. Another round of applause. Thank you guys for having me. I look forward to coming back to when your new officers are sworn in, and always know that I'm an asset within the legislature for you guys at any time you need me. Pick up the phone.
My fellow students, faculty, and staff, please join me in giving a warm applause for Mr. Ted James for coming out to be the moderator for today's event. He did not have to take time out from his business schedule to do this, but he did, and we appreciate that. Thank you very much. As a token of our appreciation here at the Student Government Association at the RCC, we would like to present you with the portfolio with our lovely logo on it. Thank you very much. At this time, we will conclude the special election form, and I want to inform you all that you can begin voting today. You can go to the school's website, the homepage, and you will see a link that says SGA Elections. You can click that and cast your ballot for whoever you choose to vote for. Thank you all for coming out, and if you have any other questions for myself or any of the candidates, we will be somewhere in this general area so you can speak to us. Thank you all.